Hi guys, it's Mrs. Applegarth. This is Chapter 1, Lesson 2, Overtime Pay. Um, our lesson objective is to calculate straight time, overtime, and total pay. So why do employers pay a higher rate for overtime work? Our buddy Jake works at the local library. He works a regular 40-hour work week shelving books. His salary is $10 per hour and he makes $15 an hour when he works on Saturdays. Sometimes he would rather be out with his friends on Saturday, but he likes the extra pay. So an employer to get you to work maybe on days that normal people would have off, like holidays or weekends, you can get extra pay for that. Or if you've already worked 40 hours, your employer is required to pay you overtime. So overtime pay is when you work more than the regular number of hours, you can earn overtime pay. The overtime rate, which is called time and a half, is usually 1.5 times your hourly rate. This is usually, sometimes it's different. You may receive an overtime pay rate of double time or twice your regular hourly rate. Employers often pay double time for Sundays and holidays. To calculate your overtime pay, you guys are going to figure out the overtime rate and times it by the amount of hours of overtime you worked. Then your total pay is your regular straight time pay that we worked on in our previous session, plus the overtime pay that you made and that we calculated here. So total pay has two calculations. It has your straight time pay calculation, which is just what you get for your normally worked hours. And then it has your overtime pay calculations, which is at the higher rate for just the overtime hours. So it's a little bit more complicated than 1-1 because the rate is a little bit different. So let's take a look at some examples. Our buddy Alan makes $8.20 an hour for 40 hours a week. His overtime rate is 1.5 times his regular hourly rate. This week, he worked 40 regular hours plus 10 hours of overtime, so he should be getting paid a good wage for that. So our first step is to find the straight time pay. So that's his normal hourly rate times his normal regular work hours. So he for working 40 hours a week gets $3 or $328 of straight time pay. Now we're going to calculate the overtime pay. So he makes time and a half, or 1.5 times $8.20, and he worked 10 hours of overtime. So let me show you how that would show in our calculator. 1.5 is 1.5. We're going to times that by 8.20, times that by just the 10 hours of overtime, because we've already calculated the other one. So for overtime, he makes $123 just in overtime. Now we have to add his straight time and his overtime pay together. So in total, he makes $451 total pay. Let's do a couple of practice problems, and we'll follow that process. So our buddy Josie makes $9 an hour. She works 40 hours regular and 6 hours time and a half. So we're going to calculate her regular straight pay. So regular straight is 9 times 40. I don't even need a calculator for that. I know that's $360. Okay. Her overtime pay is her overtime rate, which is $9 an hour times time and a half. And then we're going to times that by the 6 hours of overtime that she worked. So we're going to put all three of those numbers in our calculator. The 9 times 1.5 times 6. Some people split this out. And they'll go, oh yeah, this is 9 times 1.5 is 13.50. And then they'll just do one more calculation before they get to $81. Okay, and then the total pay is those two pieces added together. So it's the $360 plus the $81. And we get $441. $441. Okay, let's see that one more time with our buddy Ed. He makes $11.50 an hour. He worked 36 regular hours and 7 hours at time and a half. So we're just going to calculate his straight pay at $11.50 an hour for 36 hours. And we get $414. And then his OT is going to be the $11.50 times time and a half times the number of just overtime that he worked. So we got $11.50 times time and a half, 17.25. And remember, some people divvy this out. And then times that by the 7 hours of overtime that he worked. So the overtime pay is going to be $120.75. And then the total pay is those two guys added together. Which is $534.75. Sorry, I just didn't feel like getting my calculator out. All righty. You guys are now going to go off and work on this lesson practice. So complete numbers 5 through 11. Make sure that you show your work. Give me the times if you're timesing and the adding if you're adding. And thank you guys for coming out today. Our secret word is total pay. So if you missed and you're making up points, you message me total pay and you will earn your points back. Okay, guys, have a good one.